But we also had more. Yesterday, we talked about the guilty verdict over from Ryan Ruth. And the New York Times published the wrong verdict headline because they were just wishing that he would have been acquitted. So it's pretty funny. They sometimes will write these pre-written articles, pre-written obituaries, pre-written election outcomes, pre-written decisions on major cases. But what they accidentally published after this dude was found guilty of all 5 felony counts yesterday, they said the headline was this one, that they actually published it on their website saying, "Man found not guilty of trying to assassinate Trump in Florida." Now, they scrubbed it, but in the article, they said, in a surprise verdict, a federal jury acquitted Ryan Ruth of attempting to assassinate a major presidential candidate last year. The screenshot also indicated the article would be published in the print edition on September 2024. And so it's funny. In what world does even a pre-writer think he would be not guilty? Like, it's not even close. So it was somebody just having a fantasy fiction little session and writing stories for the New York Times and publishing those with wishful thinking. So pretty funny. And yesterday in the morning, we also talked about the Kamala Harris book tour, which has been just a disaster. And I saw this other clip from, I believe it was Colin Rugg, who was showing us Jesse Waters is where this came from. Kamala's been doing this book tour, and she's doing the same thing she did during the campaign. She just repeats herself over and over because she doesn't have a real functional brain, just like Joe Biden. That's why they were great team members. So Kamala is doing the same thing. Here it is.
A president of the United States running for re-election.
Current sitting president is running for re-election.
3.5 months from the election, decides not to run.
3.5 months from the election, he decides not to run. 3.5 months before the election, decides not to run.
With 107 days to go.
With 107 days to go.
And it ended up being the closest presidential election
in the 21st century.
A president of the...
Great. Of course, everybody has talking points and you just go and you do the same spiel over and over again. But she's just terrible at it and just regurgitates the same thing because I don't think she can really think extemporaneously or contemporaneously. So she's having a tough time on all fronts.